Welcome back to the Mike and Tyler Sports Podcast. I'm Tyler. And this is Mike. Today I'm gonna ask you how your week's been. How hectic has it been lately since the last time we recorded?
It's been okay. I mean, a lot of rushing, doing a lot of stories here, but it's been fine.
I'm feeling the same. A little hectic. I'm just trying to get January over with.
Yeah, seriously though.
All right, let's hop into the sports. This might be a shorter episode. All-Star Weekend. What team do you think will win the All-Star game, and who will be the MVP?
I think that the Pacific will win.
Again.
And I think Connor McDavid will.
You think him and Draisaitl will light it up? And plus they got Carlson on the back end. It's going to be hard to beat.
And Johnny.
And Johnny, too. I don't know who he'd be lining up with, like, on the line. Mm-hmm. But I want to say they're going to win. I think they're going to lose to the... I'm going to go with the Metro.
Metro, yeah.
Undercard, yeah. I think we're going to see one of these other teams pop and go off during the tournament. It's all for fun, too. Who knows who's trying. McDavid's speed, though, is going to be hard to contain. That's for damn sure. So who will win each of these competitions? Fastest skater?
McDavid.
Yeah. I don't think Larkin's there this year. Nobody's going to really challenge him. I'm with you there. Hardest shot. This one's a little bit tougher. Who's still there? Is it like who's doing that competition as far as we know?
I'm guessing it's probably going to be Drew Doughty. The Tang will probably do it. Seth Jones might do it. I think Seth Jones is probably like an underdog to do it.
Actually, yeah, that's a pretty good pick, I think, actually.
I like Seth Jones.
Somebody's going to burst onto the scene here. Is Buffalo there too, or is he's injured?
Shea Weber's not there either, so Shea Weber's not going to
This one's like really wide open. Is Line in there? No. Maybe Blake Wheeler.
Maybe.
He's 6'5", got some pounds on him. Maybe he can wear harder.
I'm going to say Seth Jones, though, as a surprise pick.
I like that one. Accuracy.
Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane, you think so? I don't really know who else is shooting in this, though. I didn't look into it that much.
I would say Crosby, but he's not doing it because he's ill.
That's another excuse. Just like Ovechkin, taking a day off. I don't know if Draisaitl would participate in that, but he's got pretty accurate passing and shooting. Mm-hmm. So maybe an underdog, I'm not too sure. Patrick Kane's probably a good guess. The relay portion, where they do the stick handling, shooting it in the small little nets, which team do you think will win that?
I think the Pacific has to win that, especially if you have McDavid and Gaudreau both doing it. It's pretty hard to not pick them.
And you got Burns, too. Yeah. That was actually an underdog for the hardest shot, too.
Oh,
yeah. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to say the Pacific there. You have two very talented people.
Honestly, I think I might go with the Atlantic there. Marner, Tavares, Matthews, Tavares. Who else is there for defense? I think it's... Who's on defense there, do you remember? Who was
Yandel's there.
Yandel, he's not bad. He's got a shot and can pass.
What's the other one?
Atlantic defenseman.
We're gonna seem pretty dumb if we don't remember this.
Yeah, it was just last week. We've been hampered with a lot of
information.
Shabbat, too. That actually, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Atlantic, though. I think they might have a chance, that's for sure. Who's gonna have the funnest shootout attempt?
Kane.
Kane, for sure? You think he's gonna pull something out of his pocket and make it enjoyable?
Yeah. Patrick Kane, for sure.
Fair enough. Is Malkin there this year, too, or no?
No.
Really? They need to invite more people. Anyways, yeah, I think Kane won the shootout. Maybe McDavid may have something up his sleeve, although I don't know if he's that out there. He won't try something different and funny. He'll just go with the skill and dominate like usual. Trade deadline targets. Nah, we'll move on quickly. Ryan Dzingel, who does he go to? He's a RFA, but it doesn't look like they're prioritizing signing him with Duchesne and Stolen matters there. Who might offer something up? Because I don't think he'll cost a first-round pick.
No, he won't. I think Pittsburgh will pick him up. I think they usually make a pretty decent move come trade deadline. They've already got Pearson. But I think that they're going to make that move for Dzingel just because they need that wing presence. They haven't really been having a lot of success there. Hornquist is having an off year, so I think that's who they should go for.
You think Ottawa will trade within the division and conference? Not division, conference though.
Honestly, if Pittsburgh can give them something that they want, for example, if they can trade a Hornquist, I would take it in a heartbeat.
You think Ottawa would take a Hornquist?
I think they would.
What other prospects do you think they might throw in there?
Oof.
They got the goalie prospect from Pittsburgh already. They might need a forward, I'd say. Or maybe a D-man, but who knows if Pittsburgh has those assets. Moving on to the next one, Matt Duchene.
I actually think he's not going to get traded.
Really?
I think that Ottawa's going to find a way to re-sign him. But if I think they are going to trade him, I think the Islanders are a team that could possibly pick him up and make that kind of deal. I know they have younger players in their system.
But then, they had got Wallstrom, Noah Dobson,
Hossein.
and Bodie Wild, Hossein, Michael Delcole. There's some pieces there that could send Ottawa's way that are cheap and young players.
I would definitely, if I'm them, I'm looking at Hossein.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He might have attitude problems, but I don't see Boucher lasting long enough there that he would care.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, they would care about the attitude. They can probably change that, give this kid a shot. He's got skill. It's a little puzzling that they have Duchene as their first on trade bait. That's TSN I'm talking about, but who knows there. I think Ottawa will try to re-sign him, but I think they're prioritizing Stone right now since he's been there that long. But they need that number one center, so I would try to get Duchene as hard as I can. Wayne Simmons, 30-year-old, soon to be 30-year-old if he isn't 30 already. He's had a down year. His body's breaking down. He's just coming off of a $3 million contract long term, so he was on a good value contract, and he's probably going to be looking for a big ticket. I don't think he's going to get it.
No, it's not.
Where does he go?
I think this is one of the situations where San Jose could come in and swoop him.
Yeah.
I think they want that grit and that kind of type of player because last year they picked up Evander Kane, so I think that's something that they want. But it's kind of a wild card with him. You don't really know where he could possibly go. Because
I think the team that does end up picking up won't re-sign him unless it's for cheaper than the $3 million he's making, which is unfortunate for Simmons because this was his big off-season. But that's why you got to sign shorter term if you're in a bank on yourself like that. Simmons, San Jose was a good point. It depends what you give up for him, though. Like, I think Philly's going to want a goalie prospect or a goalie just that's good. And so the 1B backup or 1B starter coming back, so like an Aaron Dell or a Jones for San Jose, for example. St. Louis, they have a goalie prospect. Oh, no, St. Louis is
I wouldn't give away Bennington.
Another Western Conference team.
Another team that I think could come and pick them up is I think Columbus. They have Corpalso. They could easily just do that.
Yeah, that might be a good move. I was thinking more along the lines of like Dallas, maybe.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad.
They have Anton Hudobin, Ben Bishop, maybe. And then another central team would be not Winnipeg. I think they're going to keep Brossoit, but Colorado.
Colorado wouldn't be bad.
Varlamov, maybe ship Varlamov over there. Expiring contract for an expiring contract. Maybe try to get some secondary scoring beyond their top line. They just sent Tyson Jost down, so it's starting to... I don't know. Colorado either has to make a move or they're going to fall back out of contention. I think Minnesota's going to start selling, so I wouldn't see them buying. I don't think Philly's going to trade them in the Eastern Conference unless they get an overpayment. That's where I stand on that, though. Michael Ferland.
Michael Ferland's another player where I think that he could go to a team and kind of change their whole entire thing with grit. I think the Capitals are going to try and pick him up.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like when they picked up Curtis Glencross a couple years ago, but I think it's going to be a better move for them.
Okay.
I know Curtis Glencross came over and I think he had 7 goals pretty quickly, but I think that Washington should make a move for him, maybe trade them a Verana or something like that for him. Okay. That's what I think.
I think I'd keep Verana instead. Burakovsky's starting to fall out of favor there, and he's starting to fade. And he sometimes produces, sometimes he's not. He's really inconsistent, and they're trying to move him for like mid-round picks. I think that would be a good acquisition for Carolina. Sorry. And he's just a young player that can potentially score some big goals and snipe if he has a different team. That would be a good team to try to go after him. Maybe Calgary.
I could see it. I mean, I don't know who we would trade for him at this point.
You got some young defensemen on the lower end of your roster.
If you can... I don't want to get rid of Shillington. I don't want to get rid of Anderson. And obviously Val Mackey's the future, so I wouldn't trade those 3.
Probably wouldn't trade Brody or Hamonic either, so it's kind of stagnant there.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Even though you want to upgrade.
Yeah, I don't know who you would
Sam
trade.
Bennett, maybe? I don't see Sam Bennett becoming anything more than a third liner unless he shows something this year.
I think he's been pretty good this year, though, on that third
On
line.
that third line,
Considering
for
that he's
sure.
been what he's given, I think he's been pretty good at changing what he's been able to do from like that potential of being that huge scorer into just that hustle, gritty player who's going to get the puck away from the other team and stuff like that. I think that's what he's turned into.
Which is unfortunate, being
Yeah.
drafted 4th overall, but that would be an enticing option for Carolina to get back. As a center person, maybe they can try to fill him at second-line center. I don't know. That might be an acquisition. Jakob Silfverberg on the Ducks. UFA. I really like this player, and I want Edmonton to get him, but I doubt we're going to give up a serious asset for him, so I don't know if we'll be major players in that. What do you say?
I think it's going to be a lot harder because he just got hurt as well. It's going to be a lot harder for a team to kind of pick him up just because he just got hurt. But a team that could pick him up, I can see the Flyers picking him up.
Flyers, really?
Yeah, I can.
Like a team that's on the downswing here? Do you
Yeah.
think they'll be able to sign him, though?
Probably not. I mean, he's probably going to be a rental wherever he goes.
Think so? You don't think he's willing to commit? Think he's going to bank on himself here?
I think he's going to bank on himself, and what other teams could try and pick him up? I can see Florida trying to pick him up as well.
Yeah, Florida is underrated. They might need a goalie there, too.
They need a player to play alongside Trocheck.
Yeah, that's better than what they have right now.
Mhm.
Push them over the top. I'd like Florida. Maybe the Islanders there. I feel like
Yeah.
they're willing to sell a bit and get a rental. They need to get some more scoring, I think, even though they're doing fine right there. But that's mainly due to goaltending and Trotza's system. That might be an interesting, but I really like Silverberg. I'm hoping Edmonton can sign him. I doubt he'll come here, but that's where we're at. Moving on to more Oilers topics. Who would your Oilers GM target be if you were Bob Nicholson right now? Who's the CEO of Oilers Entertainment Group?
I'm looking at Hackstall. I think he's a potential candidate.
Ron Hextall?
Yeah, he just came off of the Flyers. I think he did a pretty decent job there. I didn't think he was that
Yeah.
bad.
I think he was patient. He was building
Yeah,
his team,
he was
but
building.
they didn't want to wait anymore. And they're not working because we're impatient, but I agree.
And I think that's good because if he's going to be patient with his team, I think that's good for them because obviously after Chiarelli just traded basically all your good assets away, I think that's what you need to do. And I think his first move to do is to try and make a trade for Dougie Hamilton.
I would like that too. I might go on like a little bit more inexperienced. Like I get an experienced older guy, maybe like Mike Gillis or Hextall to be the president of hockey operations. Then bring in a little bit more like analytically inclined GM, like a Kyle Dubas type.
Mm-hmm.
They have like Lawrence Gilman over in Toronto as an AGM. There's an AGM in Winnipeg. They stuck to their plan even though the fans were pissed for how many years, and they're reaping the rewards right now. I think Edmonton needs to change the way that they're doing everything. Yeah, their pro scouting's been horrible. Amateur scouting's been coming around, but their pro scouting's been horrible. Like Manning, Petrovic. There's better targets that you can acquire for cheaper than what you give up. I don't know. Like, we need a different way of thinking around here. The whole NHL is leaning towards skill, analytics, and it's not just analytics. The eye test too. They're just doing everything they can to evaluate players and change the way they think and change the way they do things. Edmonton's been stuck in a rut where they think that everything they do is right, and that's the way that should be done. And clearly the results haven't been there. I've been from one season where we were riding hot goaltending, a 100-point player, 2 lines rolling in the latter half of the season. We need to change something now, and I'd like to see new faces come in here and just rework our entire front office and change the way that we do things and get on par with the rest of the NHL.
I think 2 big moves that they need to try to make is I think they need to try to bring in Dougie Hamilton, and I think they need to try and bring Burakovsky.
I'd like that trade too. It depends if they're willing to tango, though. I don't know if we have the assets. Right now, they're saying they're not trying any prospects or high picks. I wouldn't be willing to give up my first or second this year. Maybe a third. Actually, I don't even think we have that third. So
No.
I'd keep our picks and prospects this year. I don't know. I might dangle Yamamoto if there's a forward with term that can fit our core. So I don't know if I'd give him up for Burakovsky. I want somebody better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't really know if Yamamoto will be anything more than a third or second line player of his size. Johnny Gaudreau's on another level. He knows how to use it, but Yamamoto I can just see getting hurt.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have elite speed right now. How far away are the Oilers from playoff contention when this year is over?
I think they're pretty far away. Quite
That
frankly,
hurts.
I think they do. I think Shirelli really ruined this team.
But we have McDavid.
You have McDavid.
That can change a lot.
But is how you build around McDavid at this
Yes.
point. How are you guys going to do that? You have you have 5 or 6 players that you could really
Keep.
Keep.
And build around. It's going to be... The next GM that comes in is going to have a lot of work to do. I'd say 1 to 2 years at minimum.
Mhm.
But if he does a good enough job, gets Lucic out of there. I don't mind Lucic, but he's not the same player. His contract's way too big for where he's playing. Russell, I like the player again there. Not at $4 million.
Yeah,
If you can get him back at like 2.5, sure, he can play on my third pair any day. But I think we need to see some more puck moving types move their way into the organization, like Ethan Bear. Caleb Jones did good when he was up here, playing in and over his head. They need to put these players where they are, what kind of player they are. Like Jones should be third pairing, not be playing first or second for more than maybe 2 games in a row. He should be on the third pair or playing first pair in Bakersfield. Ethan Bear, he's been point per game the last little stretch down there. Give him a chance. Bouchard next year, if he doesn't show that he's improved his defensive game, maybe give him a look on the third pair, or put him in Bakersfield. That's one thing Nicholson did say is we're changing the way that we're doing that. We're going to let them marinate a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That also might indicate that we need better players in the NHL team right now. Otherwise, we're just going to be sitting at the bottom for another year or two, which, although a lot of fans will just become apathetic, I think it might need to be done just to erase what Shirley did. I think 1 to 2 years will be the minimum. It depends what this new GM comes in and does, or if he just sits back and we might have to wait 3 or 4.
I think
which is unfortunate.
Honestly, at this point, I think they should try and lose for the rest of the year and go for Jack Hughes.
I agree with that. Even if we don't get him, I really like Dylan Cousins here. Capo Caco is another good player that could fit. I think we got to tank this year. Just ride it out. I don't see us winning very much. I think we need to basically just sit where we are or trade away our assets that we can. Don't trade any prospects or picks. Go to the draft and reevaluate. Get somebody in here who has a plan that is changing everything that we've done up to this point. Because clearly it doesn't work, and we need to move forward and catch up to the rest of the NHL. All right, moving on from hockey. I want your take on James Hardens' play of late. Is he the clear-cut MVP, and how deep can he take the Warriors into the playoffs here?
So, I actually think that James Harden's role right now is not that impressive. I think he's gotten a lot of favors from these referees and how he's gotten all these fouls. He's averaging 20 foul shots a game.
I seen that the other day. He had like 22 out of 25, and then in the 3, he wasn't as good.
Like, he's taking 38 shots a game. Like, even if Steph Curry took 38 shots a game, he'd be averaging the same, right? Like,
yeah.
It's getting to the point where, like, sure, it's impressive that you're scoring this much, but at some points, do you think the refs, because the refs have been kind of helping him a lot?
Do you think that's a problem in the NBA right now, is the reffing?
I do think refereeing is a big problem right now just because of the way that they treat some players. Like, for example, obviously James Harden's going to get a lot more foul calls than somebody like Fred VanVleet in Toronto because obviously the name James Harden, you think, okay, he's going to go to the net and draw fouls.
Yeah.
That's the expectation.
And VanVleet might not get the same treatment from the refs. It's kind of a similar parallel to the NHL right now, but the opposite, where the good players aren't getting these calls like they should be, and these grinders are getting everything just because the refs respect them for playing a role for some reason. I don't get it. Who would you name MVP then this season?
As of right now, I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is the MVP. I just think he's been carrying the Bucks right now, and his averages have been insane. And I think the way he's been playing, I think he's the MVP with LeBron as a runner-up.
Okay.
Because I think once he comes back, the Lakers will go back into the playoffs and he'll show his value. And then third, I have Kawhi Leonard, and then I have James Harden. I know James Harden's been playing so well, and he's obviously probably going to win the MVP just because of the numbers, but I don't think it's that impressive, and I don't think he should win MVP personally.
Who do you see winning the NBA title?
Probably the Warriors. I think it's going to be Warriors and Celtics in the finals, not the Raptors. I think they'll collapse again because Kyle Lowry's going to probably choke again. But yeah, I think they're going to beat Boston in 6.
I like that Boston play the other day was incredible from what I watched. And then what you take to me about Kawhi Leonard getting the house of San Diego or whatever it was, That's just a little disheartening for
Some Toronto fans, yeah.
Yeah, trading DeRozan for a player. I don't know if he's committed. Who knows? We'll step away from the NBA now. NFL Super Bowl. Who do you see winning, and who do you want to see as the MVP of that game?
I want to say the Rams, but Tom Brady is too good in Super Bowls that he's been denying compared to the rest of the league, which is an insane stat. He's got more Super Bowls in his career than other teams. Every other team in the league. Like, the second lowest is the Steelers with 6. Like,
oh wow,
he's got 9, they have 6. And I think Tom Brady just you can't
deny Brady.
You can't deny him at this point. Like, in the way their offensive line's been playing, I was talking to my buddy. I was trying to make a case for the Rams, but he kept like telling me about how everything's been going. I think Tom Brady's gonna win, and I think he's not going to win the MVP. I think Julian Edelman's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, the receiver getting open. Those receivers help him a lot by getting open, and they're quick.
Like,
and the offensive line also helps.
I think Julian Edelman's the most underrated wide receiver in the league because Tom Brady's throwing to him. But he does an incredible job of getting open. I agree with that. Like in that last couple possessions against Kansas City when he had that 28-yard pass to him and all that, he got open. Mm-hmm. And it's like ridiculous how easy it is for him to get open. Yeah. I would say that also might be a blame on the Chiefs' defense. Mm-hmm. Tony Romo was calling out almost every play I seen, and you need a defensive coordinator that can help there, or just a better defense to know what's going to happen. And with that being said, I am going to take the Rams. I think their defense is way better than Chiefs was, and they just have an all-around better team than the Patriots right now. MVP, I don't know how often they give it to defensive players, but maybe Aaron Donald. Yeah, Aaron Donald's been so dominant as of late. I know Von Miller won it a couple of years ago for the Broncos, and I think if Aaron Donald can get to Tom Brady and rattle him a little bit, and they also have players like Sue, and they have all these good players that get sacks, I think they could definitely win the game. I don't know. You can't deny Brady. I can't. I think this is the year. He's getting older. I think the defense of the Rams is going to get to him. Maybe Gurley gets an MVP consideration. I think he's going to have a big game running against the Patriots defense. Even C.J. Anderson, if he plays the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks here, could easily do it. I agree. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening to the Mike and Tyler podcast. This was a short episode, around 22 minutes. We got a lot of stuff to do. It's been hectic. We'll see you next Friday. Thanks. See ya.